Treatment of three British men who allege they've been tortured by police in Dubai. Grant Cameron, Carl Williams and Sunit Jira were detained 9 months ago for alleged drugs offences and claim they've been subjected to beatings and electric shocks. Live now to our central London studios and to Rori Donaghy, who is a campaign manager for the Emirates Centre for Human Rights. Good afternoon. What information has come from these men over recent months?
Well, these men have alleged that they have been beaten regularly, had guns held to their head, and Carl Williams has had his hand broken by authorities after severe beatings, and alleged that he's had his testicles electrocuted whilst in the custody of Dubai authorities.
What access have British authorities had with these men?
Well, the FCO have met with them and taken testimony, and the Reprieve, a UK-based human rights group, have also met with them and recently went back but were denied access to two of the men. And based on their testimony that's been given to them, a report by a torture expert, Dr. Frank Arnold, has suggested that their injuries are consistent with torture.
OK, so the new development is that the Prime Minister has said he is concerned. Where does this take the story on?
Well, I think that if he's concerned, that in the upcoming state visit next week by the President of the UAE, when they will no doubt be talking about a multi-billion-pound arms deal, he should be thinking about how this could impact on that. The UAE has an appalling human rights record. There are currently 94 political dissidents on trial in a mockery of justice, as described by Amnesty International, and they've tortured them as well. So I think that we should, and David Cameron in particular, should take into account these concerns and speak to the President to get reassurances that they will uphold human rights before we further arm a country that has got a shocking record when it comes to human rights.
Do you, in your experience of dealing with cases like this, are foreigners who are arrested, who are charged with crimes in the Emirates, are they treated more harshly? Are they set an example of?
Well, it's not unheard of. I think that the case of Lee Bradley Brown in 2011, a British man who died in the custody of Dubai authorities, that went pretty uninvestigated as well, actually. So, I mean, these cases are known to happen. The judicial system in Dubai is terribly inconsistent and doesn't seem to be answerable to anyone. The separation of powers is very unclear.
So, Rory, what is the next stage of the legal process for these three men?
Well, the verdict is due on Monday, and they've been told to expect at least one guilty verdict. And the problem is that this trial's been terribly unfair. The police officers who've been accused of torture have just been asked if they did it. They said no. Then they turned up in court and gave evidence against the men. It's preposterous to think that these men could be convicted of a crime by the men who have tortured them in the last 9 months or so.
Rori Donaghy from the Emirates Centre for Human Rights, thank you.